Hi everyone. Like she said, my name is Emily Pritchard. I am a fellow Iowan, even though I've transplanted to the Twin Cities for college and now after college. But my company, The Socialites, was responsible for the Fred Hoiber's Bring Home the Bacon campaign for the 2012 Iowa State Fair Big Boar Contest. So have any of you guys heard about this or saw it in the news? Fred Hoiber came into our lives in December. It was the brainchild of my dad and 12 of his friends. A lot of them are alum, huge Cyclone fans. And how it was born was the last 4 years they've all been getting together at the state fair. One day a year, it's called Mark's Day at the Fair. One of my dad's friends' name is Mark. And they always walk around and they walk by the big boar and they're like, man, we should really enter a boar. And none of them are farmers. None of them have any experience whatsoever growing a 1,000-pound boar. But they searched for 2 years and they finally found potential, I guess you would call it. So in December, a boar was delivered to a farm just outside of Des Moines. And they decided to name the boar Fred Hoiber. That was the whole joke that they had because Coach Fred Hoiber, who I'm sure you're all familiar with, is a good friend of our family, is a good buddy of these guys, and so they're like, oh, this is funny, we're just going to kid around with Fred, the coach, the human. So they called Fred up and they said, hey coach, you know, we got this boar, we're entering it into the big boar competition at the state fair, we're naming it after you. And surprisingly, he's like, great, that's awesome, you guys can do your thing. And so they're like, okay, this is fun. And a couple of the guys decided, ooh, social media, you know, everyone's talking about social media. We're going to build Fred a Facebook page. However, all of them were in their mid-50s and not quite comfortable with, okay, this is fun, but we don't know what to post. And we don't know who's interested in Fred Hoiber or how to really kind of get people interested in him. So that's when my dad called me up and he's like, hey, Em, we have this project. The guys started a Facebook page. They're kind of getting out of control. We need to figure out what's going on here. And I started a company about a year and a half ago when I was a senior in college and then kind of went on my own after college. So we focus on social media and marketing, and immediately like the ideas just started flying in my head because you have this iconic Iowa State Fair. Everybody goes to the Iowa State Fair. It's that once-a-year experience. And then you have this pig that's been named after the Iowa State head men's basketball coach at the school in Iowa that is known for its agriculture and just kind of fuels the fair, I think. So I was like, wow, there's so many things you can do, but first we need to kind of scale back. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about how we built the campaign, kind of all the different steps that were involved in the process, and then I know we're under some time limits, so if you guys have questions while we're going, feel free to ask me, I guess, or you can wait to the end and then I can have you guys ask me questions. So the first thing I decided to do was to theme a campaign. So I was thinking of all the different ways you can involve pig and boar and agriculture, and you know, we were probably mid-February when I got involved, which is critical basketball season. I mean, it is just, March Madness is around the corner. Iowa State was doing well in the news. They had a couple winning streaks. So I was like, okay, this team is doing good. The Cyclones are. So that's what people are talking about. Everyone's talking about this team that's on their way to like doing something great during March Madness. So why don't we call the campaign Bring Home the Bacon and kind of have a dual meaning to it. I know for Fred, maybe it's not so good of a fate, but for the team it kind of meant this goal that they were trying to achieve. And in the same sense, Fred was kind of had that goal in mind too. So Bring Home the Bacon became the theme of the campaign. And because we were mid-February, we didn't have much time to put anything together because this group of guys thought it would just be great to have a presence at Hilton Coliseum during one of the basketball games. And there was 2 games left. So I put my team in high gear and they decided to submit Fred's picture to be one of Sai's Pets of the Week to launch in Hilton Coliseum. And the big plan was to have the pig walk on the court and everything, and I just said, no way. First of all, it's a 1,000-pound boar. There's no way it's happening. And we were just kind of spinning our wheels digitally, trying to figure out how we were going to do it. So they submitted Fred to be Sai's Pet of the Week, while at the same time, in 1 week's period, I built a website, shot a video, which included Coach Fred Hoiberg and the pig. We started a Twitter handle and relaunched the Facebook page with kind of a new voice for Fred. So that was really interesting. I worked with a graphic design team down in Des Moines to make the Fred Hoiberg Bring Home the Bacon t-shirts. I brought one so you guys can see it. I can show it to you afterwards. We worked with 8-7 Central, and they're based out of Des Moines. And I thought it was very important staying local and keeping a lot of the companies that we worked with local and here in the Ames and Des Moines area. So we got the t-shirts made, printed, ordered, and then that kind of set the theme for the website. And then we trekked down from Minneapolis to Des Moines on some icy Wednesday night at the end of February, and we eventually got compliance with Iowa State University, because you all know you need to play by the rules whenever you're doing a campaign. And we got to shoot part of the video with Fred Hoiberg and part of the video with Fred Hoiberg, and had the website up and launched the day that they announced Fred Hoiberg as Sai's Pet of the Week. So we immediately saw an influx of hits to the website, which was great, and then a little bit of chatter on CycloneFanatic.com. That's where a lot of the trash talking goes with all the sports teams. But Fred Hoiberg, people started to hear about this pig that had been, rightfully named in honor of their favorite coach. So that really made it a sticky campaign. It was one that resonated with people who, whether they were really focused in the agriculture community, or they were huge Cyclone fans, or they just knew